show you. I've gone cluster crazy, I guess. I keep on getting inspired to do clusters, and then I remembered I have a bright colored laces, trims. What are they called? Fabric? No. Yeah, hand torn fabric ribbons. All of this stuff. I'll show you some of the stuff I have in this kit. But I just thought I'd try making some with that, and I'm just loving how they turned out. These two are my favorites so far, but I thought I'd make one or two with you. Hopefully I won't stay as long as I did the last time. But either way, this one is using some of the things that are in this lot. I think this lot is $18 in my shop. And if you like to make something bright colored for a junk journal, clusters, any craft projects that you have, that's what we decided we make these with. And I also have, so these are the couple I've made. Last time I made I used the ecru lot. This time I'm using the what do I call it? Boho, Gypsy, rainbow, because it's got a lot of colors in this lot. And so I am mixing a lot of colors. And let's see, here's the other ones I made. Let's see, these. So this one is a little more simple, and this one's smaller. And these are, the clusters, I'm making them quite flat because they're made. Most of the questions I had for these clusters, whether I placed photos of them in my Etsy shop or on my Facebook page, because they're not in my Etsy shop right now, but the kit is what do you use them for? And what you use these for is that you create these, and then now you can use them to decorate whatever crafts you're making. If you're making a junk journal in bright colors, and then in Gypsy one or anything that like that, you can put this in that, or you can use these simply as little pins. So like I have these, I didn't put any pins in this lot, but I think I'll put them in the next lot I make. Of my next lot I'm going to make is going to be a pink lot. But regardless of whether you like this color, you can use your stash, your snippets, your pieces that you have. You don't need to buy my lot. You can use different colors. You could use your own color scheme. But to me, I find what I'm feeling like is why I like them is because I'm doing like a little piece of art, a little piece of art on a little small here. And so the other thing you can use them for is you could get these pins. I have some of these pins in my shop, but I do not have them in this lot. And you can attach them. I think I attached one to this one. Yeah, it's right here. So you can attach it here, and then you can hang it on anything you want. Um, see that? So I'll show you some of the techniques I use with the supplies I have. I'll start showing you some of the supplies that I have in the lot. So this fabric that's here on top is almost like a quilted satin fabric, and it's in a nice teal blue, so nice bright color. And it is a pretty large piece. It's over 8 inches square for this piece. And the other piece I gave you is probably just as large. And it's a beautiful bright color. It almost looks painted. And this is more of like an upholstery. This is a thick piece, like an upholstery one. See, that's gorgeous. And this is actually only part of it because I've cut some of this up already. That's the fabric. And then I had this fabric, which is a lace. It's like an orange color. It's more like a coral. I don't know. It's not quite orange because this is bright orange and this is not quite. So it has got some peak tones to it. And then this fabric piece here, which is another piece of a lace. Give you a piece of this. And this one's a stretch one, magenta pink. And this is the other fabric here, which I've already cut a piece off. And this is actually a lace that is totally embellished with tons of sequin. If you look close, you can see that it's got tons of sequin all over it. It's a gorgeous piece you can use to embellish your pieces. Let's see. Oh, here's a little trim. It's orange and blue. I don't think I've used this. Oh yeah, I did use a little piece of it. When I make these clusters, I really like it because you can go as complicated as you want, or and put a lot of detail in your piece, like this one here, or you can go very simple like this one, where I just used these gorgeous rainbow type embellishment pieces. This one's a heart, and this is almost like a, what is that called? I can't remember what that's called. But I think I already used one of the hearts, so that's over here. So these pieces are gorgeous pieces. And I just put really a lot of bright colors. This is the other piece. I put pieces of this in there in different colors. This is magenta, pink, a red, a green, and a blue. So those are also very high sequined, as you can see. And then I have, oh, here's a bright green. This is very colorful. Here's an orange. This one is actually on a pin, so you can actually just use it just like that on one of your projects. Here's some sequin, just a string of sequin, which I've been using. I actually have some of the sequin in my Etsy shop, like I don't know what the cost is. And then I put some red pearl trim. And here's another trim, a small thin trim. And let's see, I'm going to start just putting up a bunch of stuff, that other things that are in this lot. And you can just see pieces. They're all bright colors, or little hearts. There's tons of things here. Put those down and pull some more up. So there's a lot of little embellishments in this lot, as you can see. A lot of little ones. I put this large S, and I'll actually I know it's got a lot of sequin on in it, but I didn't know how people would like using this, but I figured out a way to use it, and I put it in, let's see if I can find where I put it, in one of these. Here it is. And this one right here, I use it as a center, and I'll show you how I cut that out. And then over here, there's tons on this side. These are let's see, those are the torn strips of different fabrics right there. There's different fabrics of different colors. And this is actually one of the pieces I used. This is a trim, including this trim right here. And then I put a little bit of this, which is gimp, and the bright colored purple gimp. And this really shiny one. And then here are another trim and some fibers, which are nice bright colors. So those are, I don't want to take too long showing you it all, but I do want to show you some of the ways I used it to make these pieces. I think I'm going to start, just use some of the techniques I use in here. And some of them, you know, what I do is I'm an experimenter, and I was experimenting with the pieces, and this is what I came up with. So what I did is I cut that bright colored one because it's so beautiful, but it's thick, but it's such a beautiful fabric. If I were you, I would choose a more plain fabric underneath and then use this on top of it, to actually make things with, because it would make a lovely like flower. Also, you see, you fold it like that, then you can make flowers with it. But this piece happened to be a little bigger. I made it a little bigger than these ones, but I will show you some of the techniques I used. So I grabbed this piece, which is really a type of a yarn, and I always get glittery, colorful stuff. So here we go. I'm going to show you what I did with this, and that's this part of it here. I took this trim and I decided I was going to twirl it to make it look like a little flower. So I cut a piece. I don't know how big, but I'll grab, I don't know, I'll grab 1, 2, 3. I'll do this. because it doesn't matter. You don't have to make it. And this is a cool one because it doesn't just fall apart when it stays pretty much on there. Maybe you might lose one piece, but it stays on there. I trimmed off this section here, and I just trimmed off the edging on it. See that? There you go. And then all you do is just make it into a circle. And if you want, you can leave it all like that and just double it up. See, that was a lot, probably half the amount is what I used on that one. So can you see it just made a beautiful circle? And then I took a piece of the, what did I do with the blue fabric? I lose things so easily. Somebody tell me, where did I leave the blue fabric? Oh, it's right here. Look, it's nice and folded. That's why I can't find it, because it's folded. So I took a piece of I just took a square of the blue fabric to put underneath it, which is quite easy to do. And you can do what you want with this. This one I just kind of folded it like this and like this and like this. And then I kind of just made it into petals. And then I just opened it up. But I think this time I'm going to just snip the edges to make it look shabby. You can actually melt this also. And then you can just shabby it up, or you can just leave it flat. It really doesn't matter. You know me, I like texture. I like movement in my pieces. So if you left this flat, it would look gorgeous. And I just put it right on top. And I took this S, and what I did is I folded this way, and then you can see that it opens up, and I cut it. This is actually a patch that you can put and iron it on, but I'm leaving the coating on it because I don't want it to fall apart. So that's all I did, is I kind of folded it this way, and then I was able to trim it up that much. And then I cut. The only sequin you're going to lose are the sequins that you cut into. So as you can see, when I cut it, some of them are half. That's what you're going to lose. And then that became my centerpiece right there. Can you see it? And then this one right here is one of the fabrics over here, so for this you can glue it down. I may not have enough space on this little piece, but I'm gonna put it down anyway. A little glue. Look at me, I'm all thumbs. Okay, let's fix that. So you could take more time. I really don't want to take too much time showing you every little detail, but pretty much just glue it together, or you can sew it together. You can do a button as a center. You know, anything that you want. You can use one of these as your center. These little butterflies, but this is what I did because I like to make a lot of things with what I have. And then I took a piece of this here to make this flower. Here's the fabric, and just about how I just made it. This one's a stretchy fabric, but I just love it. So I think I took 3. I don't want to make it too big, so I'm gonna fold it in thirds about the size I want it, and just cut it. Easy. I'm saying easy, but it really depends on you as an artist. You can just pile up and put what you like on these pieces, or you can do more like what I do is I make it more, you know, like art, because I feel like I'm an artist. I enjoy doing art. I enjoy taking these little pieces and making them look beautiful. And then if you've ever watched my flower tutorials, well, here is what you can, what I do here. Let's see. Okay, looks like it's working okay. So here I go. I just took the little piece and I'm putting it through here because it's a ribbon. So, and I put it on like this because this is stretchy. It doesn't, and it's thicker. I can make them thinner. You can see it's starting to do that. That's how I made this one. But you could just lay a couple of pieces of the fabric down there. But I like a little bit of lift on mine. And what you can do is you can tie it down with, you can cut a piece of the fabric. You can use a piece of any string you have, but I'm going to use, I use a little bit of my thick crochet thread, which I always use. That's probably the only thing I'm going to use that's not in the kit. And I just put it around like that. And I'm making one of my a la Liz technique flowers, and I use that technique to make lots of flowers. If you see my flowers, most of them are made this way, or I showed you one of the roses that I make. I think there is still one rose that I want to teach you guys how to make, but I don't know if I'll get a chance to do that. What I'm trying to do is things that I'm thinking about. So I said, okay, I need to get this kit out of the way, and so I can start, because I know everybody would want a pink kit. So I just put it together like that, and there it is, just a little flower. And you can pull it out, make it any way you want. It just looks cute. And put it on a corner. There you go. So now we just have two flowers on the corners. And then I grabbed a piece of one of these. I don't think it was these, because it should be already a piece I cut, unless I used it. I may not need it. Let me see what else I put on there. Okay, underneath I put some pink fabric, so I grabbed a little bit of this. Oops. So I just grabbed a little of this, but this time I'm going to use this too. And just grab a little square, make it a circle, whatever you want to make it. I think this time I'm going to make it a circle. I prefer like changing shapes, having movement, and I'm going to stick it down in there. Okay, and then I took a little bit of this orange hand torn. It's actually like a satin that I hand tore, and it's nice and shabby. And I just grabbed a piece of it because I wanted to add orange. And I always test things and see how they will curl, see if it'll curl. And it's not curling that much, but it's curling a little bit. So see, I curled the end a little because I want movement. I want it to look. And so I twisted it a little bit. And I just added it there in the center. I haven't glued down the other, but it'll glue down with this. And then I just twist it. So it's just lying there. And it's putting some nice, beautiful, bright color in your piece. Since this is a little piece, I may not put all of the implements I put in the other one, because my starting piece is so small. Ouch, I burned myself. So look, I just glued it down 3 places. See that? Okay, then I took, a little bit of this red and one of these. This time we'll use the strawberry right here. Okay, and then I use some of this, but you know what I'm going to do with this one, because this has so much purple in it, I'm going to bring a purple in. I think I'm going to use purple fibers. So you can change it up any way you want. So there's some fibers here. I'm going to grab a piece of fiber just to add some purple into it. So this one will be the same, but it will have a lot of the same pieces, but it will And what I'm going to do with this piece is I'm going to twist it so that my centers are overlapped into a little circle almost, so that I can glue it down. And I'm going to glue it like underneath, right here, underneath this flower, right here. So now you have purple coming out there. See that? Isn't that gorgeous? And then then this I could decide. I decide I'm going to use this. So I think I'm going to use it this way so the purple kind of sticks out a little more. There we go. And I'm not gluing this down permanently yet, because I will come back and glue it down more with some fabric tack. Okay, let's see what else is missing on here. Okay, we used a little bit of hot pink. Let's use this. And that'll bring the hot pink out that's in this fabric. And looks like I cut a little square. Let's see, this is about a 2-inch square that I'm going to cut out. About 2 inches. And then I folded it down like this. And then I'm going to do it in thirds. And I think I'm going to put a little glue on this right here. And then I'm going to glue it this way too, just so it stays down. And you can just twist it if you want. I like to twist it because look, see, it just makes like a little flower. And since I have this on this side, I'm going to put this on this side, right here next to this flower. I'm going to push this orange over. So put a little glue on the end of that. There you go. All right, so those of you who might be here a little bit later, what I'm doing is I'm creating another cluster. I have this kit in my lot, this rainbow gypsy kit in my shop. And so I use a lot of the similar colors, and I made another one like this using those techniques. And this one was a piece of one of these. Which these are so pretty, you can take them apart and use pieces of them, or you can use it all together. Okay, so that's pretty much what I did with these. That's pretty simple. I used what I had. I'm trying not to go out and use a lot of things that I don't have, that are not in this lot, so that you guys can make something similar. And it's a little piece here, and I will work on attaching that better later. Okay, and then I decided, oh, I want to do something more green, but I don't, so I chose this green piece here, and this one, I can use 2 of them and they make a gorgeous flower. I'll show you how it comes out. And again, using a hairpin, you can take this hairpin and run it down. I've used these in some of my wreaths that are very colorful to make a flower. And I've I think I made a gold and burgundy flower, and I used that red. And can you see, you just need to tie it like the other one and it becomes a flower. But I didn't want to waste my pieces, because I'm not making big flowers or anything like that. What I'm doing is making clusters. So instead I decided to take a piece of this, and I cut one. And that's what you see here, and it almost looks like a bow. So I'm going to take another piece. I know I have another piece around here. There it is, look. So there's another piece there. And I make it similar, probably not exactly the same. And this time, instead of going this way, which you can still go this way, we'll see what it looks like. Oops. So you can see it looks like that. But I decided to do it the opposite way. This way. And I took the pen, and here we go. And so now it almost looks like a butterfly. Can you see that? Almost looks like a butterfly. And since I wanted this green to show, I pulled the green up. And then again, I used my little bit of cotton thread. So when I say this is crochet thread, it's like if you were going to, it's a thread that if you were going to make doilies, and it's a little bit thicker. than just regular thread. And I've had a lot of this. I've had it for years. And I have one of those big old giant rolls. If you buy one of those, it'll last you forever. But they also come in smaller rolls like this, and this one's thicker, and I use this for some things. But I'm not using this right now. It's wide, and this is actually a vintage roll. Okay, so anyways, so now I'm tying that together. I forgot to pull the pin out first. You just make sure that the pin is not stopping, the string is not stopping the pin from moving out. So now I have that same little bow there. I'd angled it somehow like that, and then I had a butterfly. Let's see. Hey, so now I have an orange butterfly left. I don't have the this green one. So now I'm going to take some of those colors and add some of those colors in with my butterfly. I angled the butterfly like this, so I'm going to angle this butterfly like that. What's the front and the back? Oh, this is the back. And I'm just going to put a little. So look how it just looks so cute. I like how this one looks. It's taking advantage of the beautiful applique. This is a beautiful, let me show you how beautiful they are. Let me put it close up. See, it's gorgeous. And then kind of opposite to that, I have put the bow. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to pull this under. I actually can leave it there. Leave a little piece like that sticking out. I bet it'll look also like a butterfly. You know, just there. And what else did I use? A piece of the blue, but let's see what other colors I have. So since I have some purple and orange, I'm going to try and input some more orange or purple. I think I'm going to do a little bit of this purple. So this is a GIMP, and GIMPs are nice. You can do a lot with GIMPs. I'm going to just stick it right there. So I'm making it similar, but I am changing it, which is something you can do. And you can put, now GIMP, you have to be careful because GIMP, it's beautiful, but it unravels quite easily. So if you're going to use it like this one, I try to put tape, and this is just Scotch tape around it. And I usually give you a little extra more than I say if you order a yard of GIMP, because I do have this GIMP in my shop, and I think I have cream and white too. I don't think I have pink, which is something I've been working on. I had been ordering from different places because I used to carry a GIMP, and it was just too, see how it tore? Well, you could have cut it off, or I could have torn it. I decided to tear it because I utilized the little phrase. I'm going to put some glue right along there, and this will stop the fraying. That will stop it from fraying, but also I'm going to make it small here. Okay. You'll see how I use it. I'm going to put tape on it because I don't want it to. So when you take it off, all you do is get a little bit of Scotch tape. And this is what I have here. I usually put the Scotch tape on it before I cut it, but there you go. So that's why I try to give you a little bit more. And so right here on this end, the same thing. I'm going to utilize these fibers. Remember, I'm a fiber person. I love fibers. I love movement in my pieces. And I'm going to pull out some of the fibers, and it's going to stop unraveling right where I put that glue. So I'm not worried about it anymore. But you can see the GIMP has a little thin purple ribbon, and it has these fibers coming out. And here on this side, I'm going to let that dry a little more while I think about what's the next thing I'm going to get to add to it. Oops. Well, this would look pretty since we have orange, but that's probably too much orange. Now here we are adding purple in it. So I think I'm still going to add the blue. Or should I add another color like pink? Okay, well, we'll do the blue. Okay, so this time I grabbed a piece of the blue. and cut about a 2-inch square. I'm going to cut it a little bigger. I think you be as careful with that as you want. And I'm just cutting it very rough. And on this time, I frayed it a lot more just at the edges. And so I took the time and I pulled off some of these fibers. I pulled them out like this. And just to fray it. Let me see how the scissors work on that. Because again, the same reason. Why am I doing it? Because I don't like it straight. I like there to be softness to it and movement, and there we go. And then I went and did that fold like we did the other. I'm folding it in like in that triangle into thirds, a triangle then in thirds, sort of. I don't know. And it really doesn't matter how you do this. It still looks pretty, and it looks like there's a little. It'll look like there's a little flower of movement poking out. You see how pretty that looks there? So I'll put, oh, now let's go ahead and glue this on. I'm going to just glue it in the middle. And you can see how that's going to add movement. I'm going to pull it towards this side. Oh, maybe I should put it more in the middle. There you go. There, that looks good. Because that way I can put something over here. So here I go. Messed it up. So then you attach this in any way that you want. Any place you want. And I usually try to choose a place I can put a little bit underneath it. So you could put it under the butterfly. I think I'm just going to put it under the purple there. And I'm just putting a little bit, and I'll add more glue later, because this makes it easier for you to move things around if you want and change your mind again. If you want to change your mind. Okay. All right, then the other thing that I have on here is a little bit of this green and a little bit of that. Okay, I'll choose the purple one. Where are you? This is blue, and there's one right here that has green and purple on it. And I want to have some green, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it all the way to the green, so I get at least half of that green. And I actually did the same thing I did earlier. I trimmed this here. But instead of making a round flower, I kind of just went to a circle. You see that? Yep. There we go. And you can glue it down a little. Glue it. You can glue it because it's so thin, almost like a lace. Put it right there. There we go. So here you go. There's more movement. And then I used, I am gonna use this, but I'm gonna show you, because I want you to learn things on how to use things. I don't want you losing all your sequin unless you want to remove the sequin and use it. So when you're gonna cut this apart, let's see here. Here is a large, the flower that's right here, you see? I wanted to keep that flower to use separately. So you have 1, 2, 3 of them, and then you have all these stems coming up. So what I did is, you need to do is you just turn it around, and you can actually see the threads. Let me see if I do this. There's threads there, and you can kind of see where the sequin, they run the thread when they're stitching the sequin on. They put sequin on, and then they cross over and they go to the next embellishment and they add more. So but if you cut this thread, you may lose sequin. So what I do, and I showed you this when we did my very first time I did a wedding dress deconstruction video, and I was a new crafter. And people said, how do you do that? And I just said, oh, so many people are interested in it. I'm going to show them how I did it. And so I made a wedding dress deconstruction video, because I was able to share the things that I learned, where I failed and where I succeeded. and I could show them how I accomplished it. And I'm the type of person that will try things different ways until I discover what works best. So your goal right here is to make sure you're gluing the spots where they connect to the next embellishment, the next motif. Because if you don't, again, you can lose that. Now you can also use fabric tack when you do this. Um, but then now when you start cutting it out, you got to be careful for that because they may fall out. And then you just make sure that you're careful. I know I have a piece already cut, so I was just going to use that piece if it comes up. I just saw it. Oh well. I guess I'm not going to use that piece because it hid. It doesn't want to be used. So I'll cut this one right here at the tip. It's a little kind of like a tulip shape. And I can see it's connected to here. So I'm going to put some hot glue here to keep that on. I'm going to put some hot glue here to keep that on. And this just in case. And now I'm going to cut it around that motif. Now when you cut off that thread, the the thing will not come undone. So you can decide how much you want to fussy cut this. And I'm going to see what it looks like when I put it on my piece. So this is a piece we're working with, and I'm going to squeeze it in someplace, and I think I'm going to leave the green on there because it will just add that lime green color a little more. And I'm going to try and put it right there. Let's see. No, that's not going to work. I think right here, look, there's a little spot right there. I'm going to put it a little bit on there. And underneath the butterfly. This is why if you don't glue it all, then you can make changes if you want. Actually, I decided that it's too big, so I'm going to trim it a little more. And so when you're making these and it takes you a lot of time, because it takes me a lot of time, think about I'm creating art. And you're being able to do it on a little small scale, and then you can combine them together in doing something else. So I'm going to let the green overlap on top of that blue, and that's where I'm going to put it. Okay. All right, and then the next thing I did is I took some of this gold trim, and I put it in a couple of places. So I'm going to put it right here where there's fabric showing right there. Put a little bit of this gold, and I'm just going to put the glue down first. I've got to refill my glue container. Okay, so if you'd want to order this kit itself, or you can just use your stash, you can go to my Etsy shop, and this would be under laces and trims. And soon, I'm hoping I take the time soon to create a separate, and I'm just going to put it like that right there. I'm going to make it wind over that way. And just gluing, making a line of glue. And now when I put it down, I'm going to follow the line of glue. And then remember, this is the same as the other sequin. If you cut it, you're going to lose a couple. So if you wish, you can glue it first. Or for me, I don't mind if I lose one or two, because I use them and I just stuck them right on top. So I'll take this one and I can put it on any place I feel like it needs something, like right on top of this. Oops. On top of this purple, maybe. Let's just put it there just so you can see. It's actually got a little crack on it, but small little embellishments are good for you also to, there you go. See, it just added a little something on top. There you go. So it's not exactly the same, is it? But it's similar, using similar things. I changed the colors a little bit. We shabbied it up, and it just looks gorgeous to me. I do see that it doesn't have any other orange, and that bothers me, so I'm going to see if I can add a little extra orange. We can add it just a piece like this if we want, someplace. Or I think, oh, how about if I add one of these orange tassels? So this is a trim. And again, when you pull here on the bottom, these tassels come undone. And I'm just going to use the tassel. I know that. So I'm going to cut the tassel off. I think I'll just cut it off there because I know I don't need a lot. I don't need it to be big, but I'm going to stick it in here just to add a little bit more orange. I might even be able to cut it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to use it. So there we go. Stick you under here. Puts a little bit more orange on this side. And there we go. I'm done with that one. Now this other one I made is I took a piece of the fabric here. I just took a piece of fabric. You can use any fabric. You can use this fabric if you want. And then I just took one of these embellishments. I took the heart for this one. And then because I like this fabric, I like the colors, I just left the colors of the fabric because it's a beautiful color. And I added the beautiful embellishment on it. And then I frizzed that out just the same way I showed you on the others, but I put it in like a oval, roundish shape. And I put a butterfly on there, which is one of the appliques that we have in here. So that one was easy. I'm just going to glance at the others to see if there's a technique I use that I didn't show you. This is the second one we made. Oh yes, there is one. This one, I wanted to make it even flatter and really utilize some of the pieces. As you can see, I used the gold in the same way as I showed you earlier. I glued and I put it, and I used that red in the same way, and I just grabbed, and the orange, that same technique, but it's not as busy as these ones. There's not as much structure, so it's kind of like just a real little square full of texture and beauty. You can see it. If this is too much for you, this is quite simple. You can do something like this. We can do something like this and change the colors maybe. Let's see. And you can do it with anything. You can even use this to do it. You can twist it and then just shape around it to add a dimension and different techniques. So let me see, shall I cut another piece of this? Let's cut another little piece of this. And see, you can even look at this beautiful fabric and say, ooh, I like this color. I'm going to make it. I'm going to use that to my advantage because it looks like a painting to me, like somebody painted different things. And like I could see when I cut pieces, sometimes I saw sky, and this almost looks like I can see a dress, like a girl's hair's going out there. So it's kind of, and so just take it and cut a piece, and then I think I'm going to cut a piece from this corner over here. Doesn't really matter. And you can make this piece as shabby as you want it to be. Okay. So I'm going to let you make that decision. On the last time I showed you how to do it in different ways to make it shabby. And you can save these and use them or not. And so let's use this is a magenta color. We'll use magenta. So I just took the magenta and kind of like, I'm going to cut it a little longer than I need it. I'm just going to use it up, whatever piece I cut off. And I don't know, a couple of inches, about 7 inches. And I'm going to like, what I do is I kind of twist it and make a circle. So I kind of, it's yarn. So I just say I'm wrapping it around my finger. See, it's a circle, but I make it a little smaller like that. I kind of, and that's what I glue down. And I might even fold it on top a little bit, and I'll take, because that way you're using just a tiny bit of glue and just put it on top. Be careful, you'll burn yourself like I do. Can you see that? And then come along here and do another one, twist it. And it just helps it to have at least a little bit of something to glue on more than just one strand, because it is a yarn. There you go. And let's see, where's the piece we're being inspired by? This one I used red, this one I'm using the magenta pink. And I'm doing it again right here. So Can you see? I'm just choosing. And now I'm just going to take it and roll the end. There we go. It would be nice if you did slow stitching, or you guys enjoy sewing, and to sew it down. That would be beautiful. But since I know I'll probably put something on top of it, just a little bit will be good. So now that's the start of it. Very simple. Now I'm going to choose a fabric. Let's see, I have different fabrics. Let's choose a little bit of this. I'm going to see how it works, see what it does, because it's like a rainbow color. I'm going to see what happens if I cut it in half. It's still kind of staying together. You could pull it and it might come apart a little more, but I'm going to use it by cutting it in half. And I'm just going to do an X like this. That'll be good. And like I said, just do whatever comes to you. And let's see. Since I have this, I'm going to cut a piece of this, and I'm going to handle it the same way as I handled the other. Twist it. This one I'm going to twist because it's thicker. I'm going to add a little bit here. Just going to put a little glue underneath it. There. And I'm going to put a little on top of that because I want it to stay. Okay, so this is basically what I did. I finished off. I feel like I want to add some blue to this. I want to add some of that teal blue. And then we'll be done. So I'm not going to stay much longer. We're going to finish this one up, and then I'm going to go because I just wanted to show this to you. I wanted to make a couple of these tonight, and then tomorrow I'm going to start putting together the pink lot. So I go through every year just putting lots together, and then I'll just put, 10, 20, 30 lots of different kinds, and then I'll just leave them in my shop, and sometimes they last, sometimes they don't. So I think I want this blue. So I'm gonna make my own piece. Out of this fabric. And I'm gonna shabby it up a little bit. I'm actually want to leave most of the fibers on there if I can. Just trying to get a twist out of it. A little bit of a twist. Okay. That's good enough. Because you can also twist it. And I don't like that I covered that up too much. I covered this up too much. We're not seeing it. So let's pull it up. And I'm going to just go. So you do what you like. I showed you last time how to just turn them into X's and make little flowers out of them. They look like a little flower just with the X. Come on, stay there. Okay, can you imagine doing this and then sewing a couple of buttons on top of there from your stash? If you're going to throw away, you're going to get rid of some clothing, just grab the buttons off of your clothing. You don't have to buy buttons. Or I don't know if I have buttons in my Etsy shop. I used to have those pearl buttons. Okay. And then now the last thing, so I just added texture. And then last thing is I'm going to do the beads on top. And you add them any way you want. And I have this in my shop. So, or you could just, if you have some in your stash, it's just a different way you can use it to add that glitter to what you're doing in an easy way. And you can glue this down more than I am. I'm putting it just right over. fabrics. I think that's enough. I don't want to use it all because I used quite a bit in my last one. And I'm going to cut these off. I know I'm going to lose a couple. Okay, so there you go. You can, this one I put a little embellishment on it. What embellishment should we put? Right here. Orange heart. I'm just pulling them all out and seeing what I have. This one we can cut it apart into little small hearts and put it around. I think I want this one, huh? That's it. We'll stick this here. I move some of that fabric. And like I said, you do a better job gluing this down than I have. There we go. Just a little thing. Okay. That's it. I'm done. I just wanted to show you a little bit of this, how I made these, and I'm probably going to make, in the future, I'll probably finish making them. And this one, I made it into a diamond shape almost. It's just the embellishments, some trim underneath. So this is Liz with Crafty Devotion. I hope you are inspired to use your crafts, or you can purchase this kit with a bunch of different things and make your own clusters, or you can use these to decorate your a Gypsy book or a boho, bright boho colors, and come up with your own things to design and make. I hope you are inspired. I'll talk to you guys next time.